Hi loves, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to remake this beautiful shirred or smug top I saw on Pinterest. It was love at first sight. When I set my eyes on it, I couldn't let it go, so I decided to remake it and see how it will look, and I really love the outcome. So if you're excited to sew with me, let's get right into this video. You need the fabric, elastic thread, normal thread, elastic band, scissors, measuring tape, pins, and I forgot to mention a ruler. So these are the measurements you would need and how to go about them. And I noticed I lost some of the clips, so I will demonstrate with a paper first. So first, fold your fabric into two. Let's say this is the fabric, and then fold it again. And then that's why you have to divide your measurement into four. So you put in your bust measurement and then your top length. Then you measure your waist measurement and then join it to the bust to form a diagonal length. So from the top you measure 5, and then down you measure 4 inches, and then you cut it out. So you open, and then that is how your top is supposed to look, because after the shirring it's going to shrink. So now let's move on to the sleeve. You divide your arm circumference into 2, and then you fold your fabric like that. Measure what you have at the top, and same on the wrist area, and then put your top on top of the sleeve and trace out the armhole area, and then cut it out. One side of the fabric is on fold, so you have to split that into 2 so that you have 2 sleeves. So cut that out, and then now fold it again and cut out the armhole area. So yeah, that is what you have to do. Now you're done with the cutting. Now let's move on to the fabric. So I already folded my fabric into 2, and then I'll fold it on top again. So I'll measure my bust measurement, and then the length of the top. I use 13 plus allowance, so half an inch allowance on the bust and also on the waist. So the total length was 12 plus 1 inch, which was 13. But as I said, I lost some of the videos, so that's why I demonstrated with the paper first. So that is the sleeve, and you divide your arm circumference into 2 and measure it. I used 20, and then the sleeve length was 27 inches. So now what I'm going to do is to put the top on the sleeve and then cut out the armhole area. And yeah, so now I'll show you how to put the elastic thread on the bobbin case. It's same as the normal thread, just in case you're wondering. That is why I'm doing it for you to see. So make sure it's moving. Yeah, so what I'm going to do next is to finish the hems of the top. I will use my zigzag stitch and then fold it half an inch and sew it. So using the zigzag stitch to finish it, and then I'll fold it like that, half an inch. After that, you do that for both tops. So after that, you start with the shirring. I move 1 inch from the top, so measure that and then start with the shirring. You see, it started giving you that ruched effect. So do the shirring until you have 1.5 inch on the lower side. or how much you want to leave, but I left 1.5 inch on the waist area and then 1 inch from the bust area. As you can see, the shirring is done and it looks really beautiful. I think white elastic thread would be ideal, but I didn't have white, so I used black. So now what you're going to do is to work on the sleeve, also finish the seam with a zigzag stitch and fold it 1/2 inch and sew it. Do same to the lower side also. So now that is done, we're going to measure downwards from the top 1 inch and then make a line, because we're going to cut extra fabric, like a strip of fabric, and attach it there for the casing for the elastic. So make sure you have the casing you're going to make will be it will fit. I don't know what I'm saying. Make sure your elastic band will fit the casing you're going to make. So my elastic band is about 1/2 inch, a little bit smaller than 1/2 inch. So I cut a strip that is a bit bigger than that, because after sewing the sides and everything and then using the what do you call it, the zigzag stitch, is going to shrink a little bit. So yeah, so from this is the wrist side, measure 1.5 measure 2 inches and then sew your pin it just in case. So pin it and then sew both sides to form a casing, and then also around the top side do the same, leave about 1 inch and then join it to make a line to guide you to be able to put the casing, to sew the casing. So pin it up. Now let's go to the machine and sew it. So now that it's done, do for both sleeves. So now our casing is ready, and for the elastic band, measure your waist area. Mine was 7, and then I added a little bit for allowance. And then for the shoulder area, I measured 10 inches. So as big as your shoulder is, you can measure that, and also for your wrist. But mine was 7 for the wrist and 10 for the shoulder area. So with the help of your what do you call it, safety pin, you insert your elastic band. I guess a lot of you know how to insert the elastic band, but if you don't know how, you can watch from the video what I'm doing and do the same. It's pretty easy. So after that, you take your safety pin out. You can use your sewing machine to tack it down, but I usually use a pin. But if you are not sure of yourself, please use the sewing machine to tack it down, because I'm usually aware of the pin and everything. So yeah, and try to kind of push it to make it balanced. And also pin the other side. So you do same to the other side with the safety pin, push it in. And take it out, and then if you want to use a pin, yeah, but so now our sleeve is almost ready. We have to attach it to the top. It's already looking beautiful, but also remember the pins. I would strictly advise you to tack it down with the machine. Okay, so yeah, we'll attach the armholes together. So take one of your sleeves and then align the armhole area to the top armhole area of the top. Yeah, so armhole to armhole, pin it down. And remember, if you didn't tack your elastic band with the sewing machine, remember not to take the pin out, else you have to do it all over again. So yeah, pin everything, and then take the other side and pin it also to the other side of the top, right side to right side. And then take your other sleeve and do it also for the other side like that. Make sure they are really aligned. So that is why you have to put your top on the sleeve to cut the armhole, to make sure they are the same size. So after pinning, take it to your machine and sew the armholes. So now it's done and finished with a zigzag stitch. So what we're going to do next is to join the side seams from the sleeve to the waistline. So from the wrist area to the straight to the waistline. So if you're not sure of yourself, you can pin them to make sure everything is aligned. So that's what I'm doing right now. Make sure your work is neat and nice. If everything is aligned, it's really nice, you know, it looks professional. So pin them. And then sew from, you can start from the wrist to the waist or from the waist to the wrist, whichever way works for you. Just make sure everything is aligned. So let's move to the machine and do our sewing. So this is the last sewing we are doing for this top. Go slowly, especially where the elastic band is, else you're gonna break a needle or a thread. So just take it easy around that area, slowly. Now we're definitely gonna finish with this top and you'll be very happy with it. So, and you know, this is the last sewing we have to do, maybe. Because we also have to finish the seam after the sewing. So basically this is the last one. So now our top is done, and see how pretty it looks on the table. Yeah, I hope it looks good on as well. Yeah, it will definitely look good. So this is how it looks, and let's try it on. And at this moment, my dear lovely people, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, okay? And share it with your friends, okay? So they can also learn something. You know, you don't have to be selfish, so please share with your friends. And this is how it looks on. It's really pretty and nice, really simple to make. And by the way, if you have anything you want me to recreate or remake, please write down in the comment section and I will do that. So see you again. Bye.